This is my mum's recipe. Well, it'll be her mother's as well, grandma's recipe. And it's cabbage and spinach curry. Right, I'm going to do, there's a cabbage. You can use any cabbage. You can do potatoes and carrots too using this recipe, but obviously they'll require different length of cooking. But this is the cabbage one. It makes cabbage, spinach, very, very tasty. I've got no clothes on, which is why I'm standing at a distance. All right, that is ginger, garlic and chilies in there, about 1.5 inches of ginger, about 4 garlic chopped, and say 2 to 3 chilies as your taste requires. Here is mustard seed. I'll put some of that in there. That's mustard seed. That goes in the pot. I like mustard seed, put a bit more. Right, so that's there, and what I'm going to do is I've got an onion here. Oh, I've also got some curry leaves. You see these curry leaves there? These were fresh ones, which I got. Now, I can't remember if it's in the recipe or not, this, but I quite like them, so I'm chucking a few of those in. Right, now, the onions are going to go in there. I've got the oven, the ring hob on, electric hob, so that'll be about. So I've got to put that on there now. So that's going on the hob now. I'll put that on there and show you in a minute. Right, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop this up if I can. Let's take the outer one off. That's it. Right, now chop this up that you like, nice and fine. Use it all up. Very roughly, that's it. So, because it'll all get reduced in the thing. Oh no, see, this is interesting now. You see the centre of this. If you cut the centre thin, it's a bit like a cauliflower really, you can still cook it. So I've cut that thin, and now I'll do it this way now. Try not to waste any of it. So there's a bit in the middle. That all to one side. Then what I do with this one is I will trim it up. Don't take long to cook, so I cut that quite thin there and put it like that. Nothing gets wasted. There you go. Right, I'm going to wait. What I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to fry the onions till they get a bit soft. Add these in. Now with a lot of curries, of course, you fry the onions to darkish brown. Then you put these in, you go to say a much darker brown. So say light brown, then you add these normally. That's what you do in a normal curry. But this one, because it's cauliflower, you don't want the onions to go brown or a very dark brown. Just a light brown will go. So I'm going to put these in with it as soon as it starts to fry. And so they'll all be frying at the same time. Anyway, I'll come back to you. Right, so that's softened up, a little bit of tinge of brown, you can see there. And now I'm putting in the garlic, ginger, chilies, and a few curry leaves. I've got to tell you, the curry leaves are not in this recipe, so it's just purely my preference. But the proper recipe, you'll see. Right, so I've got to give them to a tinge of brown. Now I've got here a small bit of water, because once I add the greens to it, you only need 2 or 3 tablespoons of water, and depending on how watery you want the cabbage, whether you want it very watery or whether you want it moderate or so, well, you put some water in it to cook it, obviously, and then if you want it less water, or less gravy, you leave the lid off it. If you want more water, you put the lid back on. So that's what you do. Also, once this has got darker, that says turmeric. A teaspoon of turmeric goes on, which gives that lovely lemon tinge. Incidentally, I remember Ken Holmes saying, when you got things sticking to the bottom of the pan like this, and all you need to do really is just add a little bit of water, and it comes off. But this is the wrong spatula for it. Let me see if I can get a flat one, and I'll show you what I mean. You see it sticking down there. You take a little bit of water, and it all comes off. A little. That's a tip of the day. See, so it's all come off the bottom there, and now I'll continue to fry it. The little bit of water will fry off, and then you carry back on doing it. Tip of the day, tip du jour, as they say. Right, I'll pause from there. See now, a little bit brown at the end. I'm going to leave that in there because it'll come off in a minute. And now I'm adding turmeric, and I'm adding some salt. Reduce the heat of it. Now I'm taking the greens. Now it takes a bit of time. You've got to wait for it to reduce and then add more. See if I can do that. Some of it falls out because there's so much in there. Now, there's a bit of water. Try and get that off the bottom because that's a good bit. You can see actually, like if I move that aside, you see that's cleaned up. And as you get water released from these, more will get released. Right, now I'll take a bit more. Slowly get in there. Okay. Oh, they're clumsy. Anyway, there we go. I don't think TV chefs ever do drop anything, do they, TV chefs? Right. See down the bottom there, did you see that? But that's slowly coming off, and it will do it as we get water down the end. Right now. I'm moving the actual fact, this recipe, you know, shouldn't really have chilies in it. But what I did was I added them because I was going to do something else. But it makes no difference. So you've got there's no formality. I mean, this isn't French cooking, it'll weigh everything up. A lot of this is down to taste and experiment. But I'll give you the recipe myself, and then you can use that as a start and then add more to it. So there we go. Try and keep myself away from the camera, don't want to scare anybody. Right. That's going to be delicious actually when it all cooks down. You can see the onions and the masala being spread through the cabbage. I'm trying to get that stuff off the bottom because that's quite nice actually, that stuff that's fried to the bottom of the pan. Right, now you see how that's reducing. I've got those harder bits in there, but should have cut them thinner. They'll still be edible, of course. Now it's beginning to look really delicious. It smells delicious. And anybody who has some memories of school and the school cabbage, you got to try this, because this has no comparison. Right, tiny bit more. Now, if you want to make it a bit more watery, you can put a lid on it, turn down the heat, and let it steam a bit, which is what I think I might do just for the benefit of the camera. Let me see if I find the lid for it, is always the problem. So I never find lids. That might be it. Let's just see. No, that's the... There you go. You see, you don't get that on the TV, do you? There's always everything ready. Right, there we go. And what I'll do is I'll come back to you once it's cooked. It won't be long. 5 or so minutes. And done. So, right, it is done now. I wanted to show you the bottom. This, it's all clean at the bottom. All that stuff's come off with just a little bit of water. And that's the nice bits actually, which adds to the sauce. And now that's cooked, and I'm going to have this with the chicken recipe, which is also on my... I've got several chicken recipes, but this is a chicken recipe involving the coconut on my channel. And I've thrown in what's called drumsticks as well, which I think is also somewhere on the channel. One of the channels, chicken drumsticks. So anyway, there we are. It's ready.